Hi guys, it's Mrs. Cox. Today in art, we're going to do something really special. I know that I've heard you guys talking about the country of Ukraine, which is in Europe, and how there's some sad things happening over there right now. Well, I have a friend who teaches art at a school where there's a lot of students whose families are from Ukraine. And so I thought it would be very nice for us to make some pictures, maybe even some cards for those families, and just tell them that we're thinking happy thoughts for them, um, and and so forth. So today we are going to make peace sunflowers. Um, you all have your white paper, and you can decide whether you want to keep it big, or if you want to fold it in half and make it a card, just match up those corners just like we always do. And then you could write a nice note inside, like hoping you have a happy day, or wishing for peace in Ukraine, or something nice like that. And we're going to make this sunflower on the outside. So the sunflower is the national flower for Ukraine. They are one of the biggest distributors of sunflowers in the world. That means that they grow lots of sunflowers in Ukraine and then they ship them to other parts of the world. So, what we are going to do is we're going to start, like I said, you could be making this on your folded paper just as easily as on a big piece of paper, okay? And we're going to start by making a circle in the middle, about the size of your fist, okay? You don't need to trace your fist, but just look at your fist and go, okay, I can see what size that should be. Now, it's okay if your circle does not look perfectly round because we're making sunflowers, and sunflowers are part of nature, and nature is never perfect, right? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my blue because their flag colors are yellow and blue, right? So in the middle of my sunflower, I am going to put a peace sign. So I'm sure all of you have seen this before. It's an international sign for peace. And it starts with just making a vertical line that goes up and down through the center of your circle. Next, you're going to make two diagonal lines that will meet up with that vertical line. And then we're going to thicken those out. So I started with the bottom. So now I'm going to go on top and make another diagonal line so that they can be colored in too. All right, so now we have a pretty blue peace sign. Now there's several different ways that you can color in around the peace sign. If you want to, you can color the whole middle of your sunflower yellow, or you can leave it white, or you can even make it look more like a realistic sunflower. And realistic sunflowers have more of a brown in the middle. Hang on one sec. So I grabbed a brown crayon, and they kind of have like these little circles in the middle. And each one of these little circles is where a sunflower seed grows. So, did you realize that sunflower seeds that you eat are the same seeds that come out of the sunflower and go into the ground and grow more sunflowers? Now, the ones that you eat are probably cooked, they're not raw, and a cooked sunflower seed won't grow in your garden, but a raw sunflower seed would grow in your garden. So if you go to the um, hardware store or like Lowe's or Home Depot or something, maybe you will see some sunflower seeds for sale, and you can grow some sunflowers in your yard this summer. They are really fun, especially if you grow the gigantic ones. Those are cool. Now, another really neat fact about sunflowers is as they grow during the day, they always turn to face the sun. I know this because my grandma had a farm in South Dakota, and one of the things that they grew was sunflowers. And in the morning, the sunflowers would face the east with the sunrise. And as the day would go on, they would turn the heads, literally turn so that they're facing the sun. And then by evening time, they're facing the west. Now, don't ask me what way they face when the sun's not out, because I don't know that answer. Maybe that's something you want to look up on Google. But it is a really cool thing that they move almost like they're, like a living being. I mean, of course, they're living, they're sunflowers. But sunflowers do come in all different sizes. Some sunflowers even come in different colors. As a matter of fact, this is a sunflower that I drew and colored with, the chalk pastels. I did this in chalk pastel a couple of years ago, and this was one of the sunflowers that was in our community garden. And you can see even this one has dark areas in the middle. Now, this one doesn't grow sunflower seeds the way the big sunflowers do. Um, are the big sunflowers are the ones that grow the seeds you can eat. And I had a friend when I was a little girl, and they grew the big ones at her house, and we would harvest. We would pick all the seeds out when the sunflower had died, and then we cooked them and made our own cooked sunflower seeds. They were really good. So I love sunflowers. I somehow have lots of experience with sunflowers. Probably not something you knew about me. Might not be something I knew about myself until just having this conversation with you today. All right, so there's the middle of my sunflower. Now remember, you can also do that, just do a yellow interior of your sunflower, or you can leave it white. So next we're going to make the petals. And sunflowers have lots of beautiful petals. And we're going to put the petals on very strategically here. So you can see how large I'm making my petal. That's because I want it to be a pretty full sunflower, okay? So they're kind of pointy at the end, but not totally pointy. And I'm going to make one up here at the top, and then I'm going to make one down here at the bottom on the opposite side. And I'm going to make one on the right and one on the left. And they do kind of look like pencils, which they really shouldn't. So you might want to just kind of round the sides. That looks better, doesn't it? And then you can color them in. So we're just starting with 4 petals. So go ahead and make your 4 petals and color them in. I know it would be easier just to make a bumpy line all the way around your flower. Um, and that's why the little kids are making the easier kind of sunflower, and we're making a more advanced, more realistic sunflower. All right? So I don't want any of you big kids making bumpy lines all the way around your flower. All right. So once you've got the first 4, then you can go in and you can make 4 more at an angle. 1. And you want to keep them all about the same height. So this one's a little short. So I'm going to fix it just a little. Okay. So you don't want to have some that are really long and some that are really short. Try to keep them all at about the same height as you go around the flower. So if you were to draw a circle around the outside of your flower, you would touch all of your petals. So like this one, look. There's my circle going around my flower. It's pretty even. I'll even use this, look. If I put this circle template right in the middle, you can see on all sides of my flower, you see that basically the same amount of petal is sticking out on every side. Okay, so it's symmetrical in that way. All right. Of course, I lost my yellow. Here it is. All right, so all right. I love sunflowers. They're always such happy flowers. No, you can't look at sunflowers and not feel happy. So this will be a nice card, a nice picture for our Ukrainian family friends. You need to go back and curve some of these. Go right ahead. Look at that. Pretty, huh? Except look at my realistic sunflower that I drew before. Notice how the petals overlap each other. There's more than one layer of petals here. So we're going to do the same thing with ours. And so what you're going to do is you're basically going to add another petal between each of the petals that we've already done. All right. Again, try to keep it at about the same height and not go too short. So that's okay. Some of these areas can be pretty wide. If you need to, you can put 2 petals in there. So this is a pretty wide space. So I'm going to go like this. Watch. I'm going to go up on one side and then I'm going to curve down. So only part of it is behind. And then over here, then I'll make most of it be behind again. See how I did that? Pretty cool. I'm going to do it on this one too. So I'm going to go up from the top where it starts getting pointy, and I'm going to curve all the way down, and then I'm going to make one that's completely behind it. All right. The more petals you put on your sunflower, the more realistic it's going to look because they really are nice full flowers. All right. Then we can color in these. Now, these are in the back. So I'm going to color them just a little bit lighter so that it doesn't just look like a blob of petals. Can you see how I'm just holding the crayon very lightly and coloring lightly, where these in here, I can even go over them with another layer, are much darker. And that will help distinguish the ones that are out front and the ones that are behind and make it a little more realistic. Nice and lightly. Just don't grip your crayon too strongly. Just hold it lightly. And if you feel like you should go back over all of your darker petals one more time, make sure that you get it all colored in nice. Isn't that pretty? And it looks much more real than if you just make bumpy lines around the outside, huh? I think these families are going to feel like there's lots of people in the world that care about them and want them to be safe and happy again. It's a really nice thing you guys are doing by making these pictures, and I will send them all out to my friend, the other art teacher, and she will probably give some to the families that are at her school, but they're also sending things to Ukraine. So some of these pictures may make their way all the way to Ukraine to put a smile on somebody's face. All right. So our stem and some leaves, put some veins in our leaves. And we can color those in too. And some flowers have pretty big leaves. All right. If you want to, you can color the background blue like I did on my card, or you can leave it. You could write words, write a nice message around the outside, or open up your card and write a nice message on the inside. I will put some vocabulary. All right. So, peace, Ukraine, what else? Um, I think those are probably the only big words that you guys might need a little help with. All right. So, peace, as in be peaceful with each other, is EACE. Don't get confused and write PIECE. That means like a piece of pie. Do you see the word pie in it? Piece of pie. We don't want that one. And Ukraine has an E at the end, even though you don't hear it. All righty? All righty, guys. Well, I will be back next week. You have plenty of time to continue coloring in your beautiful pictures. I hope that you're doing your absolute best job, since we are giving these to other people to make them feel better. And you have plenty of time to write a nice message. It doesn't have to be a personal message. You can even write, from, and put your first name, just your first name. And then you could say Prince William Academy. Or even just PWA. Okay? I think it would be really nice, and it would feel very personal if you wrote from and you just put your first name. You don't have to put your last name. All righty? All right. Well, thanks for helping me out with this project this week, guys. Thank you, teachers. I really appreciate you allowing me to come into your classrooms and teach this lesson today. And please collect all of the papers, and I will get them when I come back next week. And I will take pictures of them and put them on the internet so that you guys have a copy of your picture that you made before I package them all up and send them to the other art teacher. Okay, guys? All right. I'm proud of you. We are going to bring peace to the world, one sunflower at a time. Bye, guys.